I grew up in First Baptist Church, Spruce Pine, and I've always been a part of missions. Been a part of Baptist Men for around 8-9 years, and I've always been directed towards missions. I've been on several mission trips, a couple overseas, and I was offered the opportunity to go work with Samaritan's Purse, running their heavy equipment. So that's how I wound up in Haiti. About 1.5 years ago, I owned my own business. Been in business for 6 years, and in the grading business, and I just was struggling, and I just got to a low point, and I decided to give everything up to the Lord. And the Lord started working in my life. I started seeing Him work, and when I got this opportunity to go to work for Samaritan's Purse, all the doors that opened allowed me to be able to do this, because I was offered a job in May of 2010, and I went to Haiti in August of 2010. So that's how quick it worked. Everything just flowed right along. I didn't even know where Haiti was. When they first said Haiti, I had to look it up on a map. And then just to be able to do what I've done all my life, run equipment, and to be able to go down there and help. And that's the biggest thing I've been about in my life, is helping people. So when I got this opportunity, it was easy for me to make a decision. I am involved of building a church. I've been going to this church since October of last year. And when I started this church, I've been trying to think of ways I could to help in this church. When I found out that it was the pastor preaches on the same principles that I grew up on, and I seen that he was legit, and he had given his life to the Lord, and he's preaching the gospel. I felt the urge to help him, and we talked about building a church. And when I talked to him, he was all excited about it. So that's what I was trying to do, is just do something. This church is going to help the community, and this guy reaches a lot of people in the community. Leogane was the epicenter of the earthquake, and that's where this church is. It is in Leogane, and it's in a cane field. And the road, how I actually got started with this church was he had asked us to build a road to the church, and it was a little dirt road in through the cane fields to this church, and you had to walk in, and it was during rainy season, so it was hard for us to even walk to the church. And that was all the involvement I really was going to do. But then God had a different plan for me, so I got more involved in this church. But he draws in around 85 people in this church. It's just a slat building church with poles, dirt floor, had benches wood that he pulls out and puts on cinder blocks to sit on, and they really worship the Lord in this church. And he reaches out to the community he goes out and he prays over people that's sick, and really he's a place where the community can come and talk to him about the Lord and about their problems. And he's just a good pillar in the community. These people, a lot of them do not have jobs, and they walk several miles to get to this church. And they pass a lot of churches up to get to this church. That's how they really like this pastor. But a lot of them doesn't even have homes, and they come to this church dressed in pressed white shirts and nice clothes, shoes. There's roosters running around the church. There's dogs. They worship with all their heart. And when they sing to the top of their lungs. And they really, you can hear and feel them worshiping God. It's really, they do not do it halfway. I'm about the only white person in this church, and they've opened their church up and allowed me to be a part of them, and I just fit in with them. They really make me feel like I'm a part of something. I'm looking for just donations to help further the church, that I can be able to build it. I'm also looking for other things, like we're looking for a vehicle for this church that he can, like I said, people travel, a long ways to get to church, and they have to pay to come to church. They have to pay for a vehicle to bring them, because a lot of them doesn't have vehicles to get there. So this vehicle would enable them to, go out and get the people that's far away, and they can also take people and pray over the ones who are sick and do things for the community. But this vehicle would also allow them to bring materials to the church to help in the building, and if volunteer teams get to come down, they can also use this vehicle for that purpose. The Baptist Men has already been involved in this, and I've been talking to them since November of last year. And they came down and did an assessment of the church, and they agreed to donate $10,000 for this church. Materials, I have done some pricing and stuff, and materials for this church is going to be around $15,000 roughly, and it's a 30 by 60 building. That's what he had before, and it's just building what he had in the past. A lot of people can't go to Haiti, and this gives them opportunity. This is what I was looking for, opportunity for people who cannot get down there to be able to be a part of something. I would like for churches to be able to donate money, but I'd also like to pray about it, because this is a tough job. It's going to be a tough job for me, because I've already got a full-time job, and this is something I'm doing there and above. So lots of prayer. And then there's going to be a possibility of volunteers being able to go down who can come down and be a part of this work. It's rewarded me to help, but it's rewarded me to see how God has worked so far in this project, and just to see how He puts things together. And if we stop and just listen and watch, it's just amazing how He works. It's hard to describe a white person sitting in an all-black church in another country, not speaking their language. It's for me to fit into a place like that, that's God's miracle to me. Just to be able to, for Him to fit me in and allow me to work through Him to work for this church. This is very exciting. This is something I've looked forward for a long time. I've been listening to God for quite a while, and so I just felt that this was an answer to prayer, because my wife had been praying that we would be able to do a missions trip, for long-term missions, and I'd been praying for that also. So when this came about, I knew it was right. If you told me, let's back up a year and a half ago, that I'd be in Haiti, I would probably laugh, because I wouldn't ever imagine, but it's just how things happen for me to be in Haiti, and how quick it happened, and how at peace we are with going to Haiti and work, and how the Lord He has made everything all right, made us feel comfortable for me and my wife to be down there, and we've trusted in Him the whole way through, and we have prayed and seeked His guidance through all this. So it's my life's upside down, but it's upside down in a good way. I prayed a lot, and the good Lord opened the doors for this to happen.